What's good? We know what it is. We back. TBC and more. It's a boxing clinic and more. If you don't know what TBC means, it's your boy CJ Goodfella. And shout out to the homie Greg. He asked a question that sparked this video. When you see the video, he'll know what it is. You want to know the real reason why people don't want to see Deontay Wilder face Anthony Joshua and Jamal Charlo fight Triple G. It ain't got nothing to do with on Charlo side. Oh, you just got to the division, middleweight division. Oh, he didn't earn it. But look at Terry Flanagan. Who dropped his lightweight WBO title, right? And anybody say nothing about that? And he moved up. He got a mandatory shot at a vacant WBO title versus Maurice Hooker, right? Anybody say nothing about Terrence Crawford going from 140 pounds and automatically getting a shot at Jeff Warren? Did anybody say anything about that? All right, and in Deontay Wilder's case, okay, obviously with Wilder, Anthony Joshua came out and said, I don't want no smoke with Wilder for a year or two. Now, if Wilder would have came out and said that, it would have been an issue, right? Y'all would have been, oh, he a ducker, he a ducker. I'm going to tell you what it is. And it's about race as well. Let's keep it real. It's racial as well, but I ain't going to get into that. You know what it is, dog? People don't want to bite the bullet and swallow their pride and give credit. They don't want to give these guys credit. They don't. That's what it's mainly about. They don't want to have to swallow their pride and be like, you know what, Deontay Wilder was the better fighter than Anthony Joshua on that night. You know what, Jamal Charlo, he beat Triple G. You know what, and even if it does happen, both of those fights happen, and they beat them legit and clearly, and there ain't no controversy to it, right? It's still going to be an excuse. You know what, man, Triple G, oh, man, he fought a lot of tough wars. Oh, Anthony Joshua, he lost 5 pounds for this fight, man. If you would have kept the muscle on, he'd have been more effective versus Wilder. They gonna come out with those bum excuses, man. It's that union of fighters. It's that union of fans. It's that nice little chunk of fans. And you know what type of fans they are. And if I could say the word, I would say on YouTube. But you know what type of fans those guys are. Those boxing fans that get behind certain fighters, Lomachenko, Golovkin, Anthony Joshua, get behind fight. You know why a lot of other people, how people get behind Terrence Crawford? Let's keep it. We're going to put it all on the table right here, but we're going to keep it clean. You know why a lot of people get behind Terrence Crawford that's not of black minority descent? You know why they get behind Terrence Crawford? I'm not talking about the UK. I'm talking about the United States. You know why they get behind Terrence Crawford? Because he's with Top Rank. That's why. If Terrence Crawford was a premier boxing champions fighter, he wouldn't even have those fans outside the black network for real. Let's put it out there on the table. They want Terrence Crawford to beat Earl Spence and Keith Thurman because they don't like premier boxing champions. But these are the same people who tune in to premier boxing champions all the time. Factual. A lot of people say, you know what, we're going to boycott Danny Garcia versus Ralph Saka. It did 800K. So who boycotted it on Showtime? So it's a blame to be placed everywhere. You feel me? But back to Wilder and Charlo. Keep it real. They don't want to have to swallow the pride and be like, you know what, Charlo was the better fighter. He's better than Triple G. They want to protect their own fighters. Anytime in a combat sport where it's one-on-one competition, you feel me? Where you gotta make an excuse for a Triple G or Anthony Joshua. Why not to fight a mandatory or unified championship fight? And you got to make an excuse for him, you weak. You a punk. You a punk. And people will say, well, Jamal Charlo hasn't done anything. He the mandatory. The WBC, they allow Canelo Alvarez to do whatever he want. He won his first title at a catchweight with Matthew Haddon. They sanctioned him versus junior welterweight who just moved up to welterweight, Josito Lopez, because he beat Victor Ortiz, I believe it was. They sanctioned him facing Amir Khan, who didn't even capture a world title at 147 pounds. So what is y'all complaining about the WBC now? Y'all ain't been complaining about them in the past? Have you? Have y'all been complaining about the WBC in the past? I'm gonna mute for a minute and let me know. No, y'all haven't. But when it comes to a boy from Houston, Texas, who got that heat, it's an issue now. Anytime it come down to somebody of minority descent in the United States and get an opportunity, it's an issue. Not just in the boxing ring. It's an issue now, right? Because you know he's a threat to Triple G. And Triple G had one of the most fabricated boxing careers I can remember. He's overrated, and I've been saying it. Now people want to agree with me. Don't hop on the bandwagon now because you're starting to see it. I've been saying it. I'm the first person to say it. Dude is overrated, bro. His whole career is overrated. And now that the competition is getting thick, oh, you know what? I want to go up to 168. Shut up. Abel Sanchez talking about, you know, what has he done to earn a Triple G fight? What has Triple G done for somebody to earn a Triple G fight? Who has he fought? And people say, you know, Charlo didn't earn it. Did Dominic Wade earn an IBF mandatory defense versus Triple G? But y'all was loving that Dominic Wade fight, right? Y'all was loving Dominic Wade, huh? Oh, yeah, it's just a mandatory. Not Jamal Charlo a mandatory for a belt that Triple G didn't have to fight for. That was given to him. He hasn't had to face one mandatory for the belt. But now it's an issue, right? Now it's an issue. You know why it's an issue? Because they fear Deontay Wilder going to put Joshua on his hind side and beat him. And they fear that Jamal Charlo is going to beat Triple G. And Triple G is going to be a folktale. He's always been a folktale. Overrated. And I stood by that 100% for years now. If people know who been here day one or knew when I came from Colossal Boxing Talk, y'all know what it is. Used to argue with them all the time about it. Now everybody want to open their eyes to it. And Anthony Joshua thinks somebody openly admitted they're ducking Deontay Wilder or ducking the fighter and he get more support. When have you heard of that before? When have you heard that before? I stand by, I said Deontay Wilder is the most hated individual in boxing history. And people who know their history know Muhammad Ali was very hated. Floyd Mayweather not even on the hatred level of Muhammad Ali and what he went through when he was going through when he refused to face the fight in the military. You know what I mean? Deontay Wilder is the most hated athlete I probably ever seen in sports, really. Over Romanowski, who spit on people and did dirty plays. Over Richie Incognito. Over Kerry Collins, the quarterback for the Panthers, when he used the N-word and called a guy N-word in the locker room. I know sports. But I never seen somebody admit to being a coward and a punk, and Anthony Joshua being a coward and a punk, saying he don't want to fight Anthony, he don't want to fight Wilder for a year or two, and people get behind him. Well, he only got 20 fights. What they got to do with it? If you a champion, and they saying, and your promoter saying, and your fan base saying, and people in America saying that you're the best heavyweight in the world, if you're the best, 1 + 1 = 2, right? You fight the best. And once you beat the best, you can do however you want in your career. But Triple G, how is you earning a Triple G fight when Triple G only did $150K on his pay-per-view? There ain't no fight. You fight your mandatory, right? He fought every other mandatory. You go down. I'm going to go down the list. You tell me which guy beat Jamal Charlo. Does Proska beat Jamal Charlo? Does Gabriel Rosado? Does Ishida? Does Adamo? Does Matthew Macklin? Does Daniel Gill? Does Dominic Wade? Does Willie Monroe? Does any of those guys beat Jamal Charlo? Let's keep it real. Curtis Stevenson? David Lemieux? Absolutely not. Danny Jacobs won't even beat Jamal Charlo in my opinion. It's a good fight. I'm starting to think of it as a 50-50 fight. But obviously, his promoters don't feel that way. Eddie Hearn said, I don't want to put him in there with that beast from Houston, Texas. And when he was with Premier Boxing Champions, you never heard him utter, Jamal Charlo's name. Even when he moved up, he didn't say that name. If Jamal Charlo said on Instagram Live, he would knock him and Golovkin out at the same time. He's called him out several times. Eddie Hearn at HBO, don't say nothing, Jacobs. Did you hear Jacobs call Jamal Charlo out after the Luis Arias fight? Absolutely not. You hear Anthony Joshua call out Deontay Wilder? He said something to ESPN, all the knock Wilder out. I do. You won't do nothing because you a punk. Anthony Joshua is a weak-minded punk. Now, can he beat Deontay Wilder? Yes. Just because you a punk don't mean you can't win. Don't mean you can't win. And people is accepting the fact that Anthony Joshua ducking Wilder because they don't like Wilder. Or Wilder this and Wilder that. Wilder got into boxing to help his daughter out because she had a illness. He's accomplished that. He's made a lot of money, good investments. He's accomplished that. Anthony Joshua don't want the smoke. He don't. Triple G don't want the smoke. Abel Sanchez said we fight anybody from 54 to 68. First he said 75 to 68. Oh, now it's money over legacy. But y'all killed Floyd for saying money over legacy, right? But y'all get behind Triple G. Y'all just some decals, bro. Dumb casual ass fans.